Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today I've actually got some really good news because the US House of Representatives has passed some seriously critical cybersecurity bills here in the United States. Hopefully they'll go to the Senate and be passed as well, but this is actually really good news on the cybersecurity front and is long overdue. As I mentioned in a previous video this week / podcast, we really haven't done much, even though we've been under attack for quite some time. So I'm thrilled, beyond thrilled to see these. Here's what's going on. This is coming from a really concise article from Security Week, and I'm pretty much, I think, going to be reading this verbatim. I couldn't make notes better than this, so good job, Security Week. Now, here's what's going on. The U.S. House of Representatives this week passed several cybersecurity bills, including ones related to critical infrastructure, industrial control systems, and also basically giving money to states and local governments to help defend them. That is something I have talked about quite some time, especially due to the water issue that we have. A lot of water municipalities simply cannot afford to enhance their security, and here we go. Now, one of those bills, as I mentioned, is focusing on critical infrastructure, and it is called the Cybersecurity Vulnerability Remediation Act, and that aims to authorize the Department of Homeland Security's CISA, that's the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, to assist owners and operators of critical infrastructure, think Colonial Pipeline, with mitigation strategies against their serious vulnerabilities. This bill will cover basically vulnerabilities in IT or OT, otherwise known as operational technology systems, as well as security holes in hardware and software that are no longer supported. That's interesting too. Now, it's also going to authorize the DHS to create a competition for identifying remediation solutions for vulnerable IT and industrial control system products. This is essentially one way for researchers to get known. Is they're going to find these vulnerabilities, they're going to make money, and basically there's going to be articles written about, hey, Nick found this vulnerability or whatever, if I join that competition. So I think it's going to be really interesting. Now, that on top of that, the House also this week passed the CISA Cyber Exercise Act, which establishes a program within the CISA with the goal of promoting regular testing and assessments for preparedness and resilience to cyber attacks aimed at critical infrastructure. Thank you. I am so happy for this. So many organizations that I walk into when we are talking about risk don't have good contingency plans. They don't really have the resiliency built up in the way that they need. So this is just seriously going to help me at my job, as I'm sure it is thousands of other, or millions, hopefully, of other nerds like me. Now, these exercises would basically simulate significant attacks, or rather the impacts from a cyber attack on government or critical infrastructure networks. Therefore, it would help organizations improve their readiness and incident response capabilities. And so many organizations don't have things like computer incident response teams or emergency response teams for things like this. These are things that are part of a good contingency plan and risk management for your business or even your government agency. And those are huge things. A lot of people are very lax with that organization-wide. Now, another bill is the Department of Homeland Security's Industrial Control Systems Capability Enhancement Act of 2021, which requires CISA to improve its ability to identify and address threats to industrial control systems, particularly systems used in critical infrastructure. If this bill becomes a law, and I know President Biden will sign it, he's pretty much indicated that by his own executive order, so it has to get through the Senate, where I believe they've got the votes. It's a simple majority, not to mention the fact that a lot of these bills oftentimes have very heavy bipartisan support. The IoT security bill last year, by Congresswoman Kelly and Congressman Will Hurd of Texas. I actually got to interview Congresswoman Kelly from Chicago on that bill. That had unanimous support. Republicans and Democrats came together. It was great. We love to see those kinds of things where we can collaborate together on such a critical issue. So if this bill becomes law, the agency will be required to maintain a cross-sector incident response capability, provide technical assistance to stakeholders, and share vulnerability information with the ICS, or Industrial Control Systems, community. Now, the State and Local Cybersecurity Improvement Act, which is another one Congress has been busy in a very good way, seeks to authorize a new $500 million grant program whose goal is to provide funding for cybersecurity for state, local, tribal, and territorial governments. Think Puerto Rico. That is going to be awesome because, like I said, we have a huge problem with these smaller municipalities simply not being able to afford good defense or training or anything else, and so they're running old systems that are out of date, like Windows XP or something along those lines, because they're going to use it till the wheels fall off, and we know how super vulnerable those things are. So that's obviously a good thing. Now, this particular bill, basically this funding bill, will allow state and local government organizations to request funds that they will use to address for cybersecurity risks and threats to their internal IT systems. The CISA will be in charge of this, and I'm hoping that the CISA is going to have some checks. So if I'm running small town USA, I can't go to the CISA and say, yeah, give me some cash for cybersecurity, and then, I don't know, go put in a golf course for my neighborhood or something. I hope it is actually going to cybersecurity, fraud happens. Now, another bill that was passed onto the Senate this week is the Domains Critical to Homeland Security Act, which authorizes DHS to identify supply chain risks to domains that are critical to economic security. While it does not specifically mention cybersecurity, it is definitely applicable in that area because obviously we have a massive problem with supply chain risks. I do the Breaches of the Week video every Sunday, and most of those are now just supply chains. I didn't get hit, but the person that does my billing did, or the person where I'm holding my health information got hit, and now here we are. This is a huge problem. And so by virtue of that, I'm so excited for this. Now, a summary of the bill reads, and I quote directly from the articles, I've been mostly quoting this, it's really just concise. And I quote, the bill defines United States critical domains for economic security as the critical infrastructure and other associated industries, technologies, and intellectual property or any combination thereof that are essential to U.S. economic security. All of these bills basically are proposed as amendments to the Homeland Security Act of 2002, and this is awesome. I am a huge fan of this. I am so glad that we basically have people at the CISA that are advising, on these kinds of bills that are basically getting it pushed through. This is music to my ears, as it is for the cybersecurity community. Obviously, businesses are going to see this and be like, I have more cybersecurity controls to put in. Yeah, that's part of it too. I mean, there is a little bit of a pain point in that, but at the end of the day, I'd rather spend another 30 seconds looking up a code on my phone to get into my email than lose $1 million+ to a hacker, a criminal hacker. That's a serious problem. I've seen that. I've literally seen that. A lot of the calls we get are people that say, I don't know you, I haven't worked with you, I've been referred to you, or I've seen a video of yours or something like that, or I've seen you on stage. We don't know what to do. We're down. Please help. And we find poor choices in cyber defense strategies, oftentimes from the IT side of things. And again, these are people that are doing the best that they can. We love IT, we need IT, but it's just two different domains. It's really that simple. So I'm very excited for this. I think everybody should be excited for this. We are really stepping up this game. This is just years in coming. It feels like a real relief to me, on the cybersecurity side, and hopefully it's going to feel like a relief to you. We are going to harden the defenses of our critical infrastructures, and we're on a tear to do this. The sooner, the better. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please stay private. Thanks, everyone.